Welcome to Family Art Night. I'm Mrs. King. We are here to make a really beautiful diorama for July 4th. Hope you have fun with our project tonight. Let's go over our supplies so you have everything on hand in your work area. We are going to use plastic drinking straws, white poster board. It's 22 by 28 inches, crayons, pastels, Sharpies or regular markers, a small sketch paper. You might want to use colored paper. I used red and blue that I had on hand at home. Scissors, possibly clear tape. You may or may not use that. If you have hot glue, and our white glue is always handy. Step 1, we're going to cut a standard size white poster board that's 22 by 28 inches long. And we're going to make it into 3 strips, 28 inches long by 7 inches high. We're going to use a ruler to measure the 5 panels. From the left, the vertical line you will draw with your ruler measures 3 inches. The next one will be 11 inches, 3 inches, 8 inches. 8-inch panel is important. This is the one we will draw our buildings on. Tick at the bottom, tick at the top. After you've drawn all of your lines for the 5 panels, you're going to make a fold on each of the lines. And you just can use your guide of lining it up with the edge of your paper so it'll be nice and straight. Crease it sharply. To really crease it sharply, perhaps you'll want to grab a marker or a spoon to use as a burnisher and crease the fold. And when it's creased, it really makes a nice effect. As you can see already, this is going to be our structure. Step 3, this would be your 4th panel from the left, and it is your 8-inch panel. That will be where you sketch your buildings. Draw a skyline with 3 or 4 houses or buildings. Make the roofs vary between 4 and 5 inches in height, and be sure to draw windows and doors on your buildings. Any embellishments that you would enjoy. Step 4, color your buildings in a patriotic color scheme of red, white, and blue using markers, crayons, or oil pastels. You can use any one of them or all of them. And if you're using pastels, watch out for smearing. Step 5, cut out along the rooftops, along the entire 8-inch panel, and all of the way to the top of your 7-inch high poster board. Step 6. Next, we'll color the 3-inch and 11-inch panels, making a bold red, white, and blue stars and stripes design. Use big, bold shapes on this part of the project. Make sure that it has some of your own creativity. You might want to add some starbursts or something a little different besides just stripes and stars. Just so it's red, white, and blue, it'll look patriotic. Step 7, we turn over our panel. Now that our bold design is done, we color a night sky that has lots of bursts of fireworks and different sizes, so it makes it get some distance to it. And they'll be exploding through the sky. If you have glitter, you might want to put some little lines of glitter on the bursts of fireworks as well. So to make the fireworks, what I first do is kind of have a circle, but this circle really won't show. It's more of a guide for size of the fireworks. Okay, once I have my basic circle, what I want to do is take a red crayon for this part, and I take and fill in the circle using a central point. You can put a dot in the middle of your circle if you want. None of this will show in the end because you're going to have all this black behind it. So I am taking my crayon or my pastel And you see how I used the circle to get the basic shape. And I'm doing it again. I'll show you with each one, maybe you'll get the idea of it. You start in the middle and just fling it out. Be casual. It doesn't have to be perfect. You're going to get all of these little bursts of color. And I'm starting with a red firework because it'll show nicely against the sky, but I'm going to also take a little bit of yellow pastel and throw in a few lines of that. Then I'm going to take a blue pastel and I'm going to make a few more lines. So you see I'm getting some really spiffy fireworks. Okay, so now I have several fireworks there, but now I'm also going to put fireworks on the side panels, the 3-inch panels. I get just a little fireworks, they don't need a lot. I think I'll try this black marker for a background, but it can be black pastels too. This is a wider black marker. You can do it with any length of marker. And you're kind of tracing along the outside of your firework that you made, but if you happen to overlap it, it will look just fine. You're just getting this nice dark black background for night sky. And you can let a little of the white show too, because the fireworks would maybe have white light in them. And you can even leave a little white on purpose with these lines, as you see I've done, because it actually gives it a nice look. We have our background completed for the bursts of fireworks, and on the other side our big bold flag pattern. Now this is where we fold into an actual diorama and do our gluing of the sides. Here's what I wanted to show you. Remember we creased, so we might want to reinforce the creases. This is where they come and make it look like a nice sturdy structure. Okay, so what we have to make a decision here, you can see it's going to look nice. Here's your building row, and here are the sides, and then you'll see the back, and your flags will come next. But when we do our sides, put this together, we have to decide which is going to look better to overlap that part of the bold design, and I think I like it with the smaller pieces, so I'm going to put glue on this one 3-inch panel that's on the end and glue it to the other 3-inch panel on the other end, and I'm going to have the smaller stars showing. This is what we do. We take some white glue I'm using. If you have hot glue and want to, that's up to you, but white glue works very well. And you can let it dry while you work on flags. So I'm putting glue on that whole panel, and then I'm going to match it with the panel of 3 inches from the other end. And this is where, if you happen to have trouble keeping it together while it dries, you can take a paper clip and clip each end. While your glue is drying, work on a couple of flags. So I'm taking my 2 colors of paper that I brought and make it a little bit long, because you are going to fold a little fold of about 1/4 inch, and when we put it on a straw, that gives us a little place to glue, and you can leave the straw sticking up when you do that stuff, so it's the top of a flagpole. But the thing we want to do right now is get 2 flag shapes cut, because I think I'll go with 2. One will be red, one will be blue. I think the blue one I'm going to make a little curvy, because it's going to be kind of a waving looking flag. So you see the shape of each flag. We're going to take and make a little decoration on the flag. I think I'll put some stripes of white pastel on this red flag. I'm going to take a blue pastel now. I'm outlining on the narrow one. So it's a pretty simple flag, but it's kind of a candy cane look. Now the other flag is going to be blue, but I'm also going to use a dark blue, and I'm going to make a big star, and I'm going to make about 3 little stars. And now what I want to do is make a little yellow outline, but not covering the whole inside, just a little touch of yellow. Now one thing left that I want to do is make a background of some blue dots. I think it needs a touch of red. Now look at that, that's a nice little flag. So the two are a good contrast. So our flags are now ready to be put on straws and glued on our drying piece. Now we have our flags completed, but they have to be placed on the pole. So I am inserting the straw. I think I'll use the bendy side up in case you want to twist your flag around a little once it's on your diorama. I'm going to use some tape. You could tape or you could glue, but it takes a long time for the glue to dry. Now look, nice flag. Okay, that one is going to go probably like right here. No, I think right here. And now we'll just get the other one. Before you glue them on, get them both done so that you can decide the best place to place them before it's too late and you've already got it stuck down. Now that again, you can make your flags a little tilted or you can keep them straight. I'm going to put the red flag maybe a little bit lower, and it's up to you if you want. You could put the drawing on both sides of the flag, but you don't have to. To put the flag in, I'm laying it down so that on the table so that I can get my tape in there. Now if you were hot gluing, I guess you wouldn't have to do this because it would stick immediately, but with the tape you've got to be sure it's strong. So this way I'm taping it to the bottom. You see, I taped it inside on the bottom, but I laid it down in order to do that so that I could get a good pressing in the tape. Now I'm going to press the tape on the other one too, but I want them at 2 different heights. So I think I'll make this one, let me look a minute. I think I'll make this one a little higher, and I'm putting it on the roof. So I'm putting a little tape on here. I'm touching it to the roof. And again, I want to lay it down in order to reinforce the tape. Ah, voila. There we go. And as I said, you can decide if you want to tilt them a little bit, you can. And if you change your mind later and want to poke it down or whatever way you want. I like one up and one down. Let's take the paper clips off to complete the whole project. Those were only to hold that in place while the glue dried, and it's dry enough now. I think we have a finished product. And I hope everyone has a fantastic 4th of July and enjoys their diorama. All of your friends and relatives are going to be so impressed with your amazing piece of art. Happy 4th of July.